First, let's look at rice. Rice is the most widely consumed grain in the world, especially across Asia. It has been cultivated for thousands of years and comes in many different varieties. At first glance, rice looks simple, small dry grains that expand when cooked, but the texture can change dramatically depending on the type. Short grain rice tends to be soft and sticky. Long grain rice is lighter and more separate. This difference comes from the starch content. Higher starch levels create a softer, stickier texture. Rice is usually boiled or steamed. It absorbs water as it cooks, becoming tender and slightly elastic. Because of its neutral flavor, rice works well with almost anything. It can be paired with vegetables, meat, or sauces. It also forms the base of many iconic dishes, from sushi to fried rice. Structurally, rice is soft, adaptable, and designed to absorb flavor rather than dominate it. Next is wheat. Wheat is one of the most important grains in Europe and the foundation of many staple foods. Unlike rice, wheat is rarely eaten whole in its raw grain form. Instead, it is milled into flour. This flour is then used to make bread, pasta, and baked goods. What makes wheat unique is its gluten content. Gluten is a protein that gives dough elasticity. It allows bread to rise and hold its shape. When mixed with water and kneaded, wheat flour becomes flexible and stretchable. This is why it can be shaped into so many different forms. Cooking methods vary depending on the final product. Bread is baked, pasta is boiled, and pastries are often baked with added fat. Texture is the key difference here. Wheat-based foods can be soft and airy, like bread, or firm and chewy, like pasta. Structurally, wheat is the most versatile grain, capable of transforming into completely different textures depending on how it is processed. Next is oats. Oats are especially popular in Europe and North America, often eaten as part of breakfast. They are usually processed into rolled or steel-cut forms before cooking. Oats are most commonly prepared by boiling them in water or milk. As they cook, they absorb liquid and become soft and creamy. This creates a thick texture known as porridge. Unlike rice, which stays separate, oats tend to stick together. Their flavor is mild but slightly nutty. Because of this, oats are often combined with fruits, honey, or nuts. Another important characteristic is their fiber content. Oats contain a type of soluble fiber that creates a smooth, almost gel-like consistency when cooked. Structurally, oats are soft, dense, and designed for slow digestion. They are less about shape and more about consistency. Next is corn. Corn is widely used in the Americas and many parts of the world. Unlike wheat, corn does not contain gluten. Because of this, it behaves very differently when processed. Corn can be eaten whole, ground into flour, or turned into products like cornmeal. When cooked as whole kernels, it has a firm and slightly juicy texture. When ground, it can be used to make dishes like tortillas or polenta. Polenta, for example, becomes soft and creamy when cooked slowly with water. Corn flour, on the other hand, creates a denser, more crumbly texture compared to wheat. The flavor of corn is slightly sweet, which makes it stand out from other grains. Structurally, corn is more rigid than wheat and less sticky than rice. It offers a balance between firmness and softness, depending on how it is prepared. Our next grain is barley. Barley has been used for thousands of years and is common in Europe and the Middle East. It is often used in soups and stews. Unlike rice, barley does not become soft and fluffy. Instead, it remains slightly chewy, even after cooking. This is because of its outer layer, which takes longer to break down. Barley is usually boiled in water or broth. As it cooks, it absorbs liquid but keeps its structure. This makes it ideal for dishes where texture is important. Barley also has a mild, slightly nutty flavor. It is sometimes used in salads or as a base for hearty meals. Structurally, barley is dense, chewy, and more resistant to overcooking. It provides a stronger bite compared to softer grains. Next is quinoa. Quinoa is technically not a true grain, but it is often grouped with grains because of how it is used. It originated in South America and has become popular worldwide. Quinoa grains are small and round. When cooked, they expand and release tiny spiral-like structures. This creates a light and slightly fluffy texture. Quinoa cooks quickly and does not become sticky like rice. Its flavor is mild with a slightly earthy taste. It is often used in salads, bowls, and side dishes. One key feature of quinoa is its high protein content. Structurally, quinoa is light, separate, and slightly crunchy. It offers a very different eating experience compared to heavier grains like barley or oats. Now let's look at millet. Millet is widely used in parts of Asia and Africa. It consists of very small grains that cook quickly. Millet can be prepared in different ways depending on the amount of water used. With more water, it becomes soft and porridge-like. With less water, it stays light and slightly fluffy. Its flavor is mild and slightly nutty. Millet is often used as a substitute for rice in some regions. Because of its size, millet cooks faster than most other grains. Structurally, it is light and delicate, with a softer bite compared to barley. Millet represents a simple but efficient grain that adapts easily to different cooking styles. Finally, we have rye. Rye is commonly used in Europe, especially for making bread. Compared to wheat, rye contains less gluten. This results in a denser and darker bread. Rye flour produces dough that is less elastic. Because of this, rye bread does not rise as much as wheat bread. The texture is heavier and more compact. The flavor is stronger, often described as slightly sour or earthy. Rye bread is commonly used in traditional European dishes. Structurally, rye is dense, firm, and less flexible than wheat. It creates food that feels more substantial and filling. Looking at these grains together, the differences are clear. Rice is soft and absorbent. Wheat is flexible and transformable. Oats are creamy and dense. Corn brings firmness and slight sweetness. Barley adds chewiness. Quinoa stays light and separate. Millet cooks quickly and remains delicate. And rye creates dense, structured bread. Different grains, different textures, and different roles in cooking. Grains may seem simple, but they are the foundation of many foods we eat every day. From soft rice to dense rye bread, each grain behaves differently when cooked, and understanding these differences can completely change the way you see everyday meals. There are many more grains beyond these 8. So, what kind of grain do you usually eat? For me, rice is an indispensable part of my diet.